Hey y'all, welcome back to the Team LoCoFit Roundtable. I am joined with Coach Jill, whose sweater is not on backwards. Literally, I look over and she was putting on one of the Celestial Bodies like pullovers, and it was backwards. As we were literally just talking about her prep brain and joking about it, she then puts on her jacket backwards.
Yeah, honestly, it was just the perfect scenario.
Because
I did not expect anything less, really.
We had talked about the last podcast that we did, which if you guys haven't checked that out, go do that. It's all about what to eat on show day and things like that. And we had talked about what we were gonna with like a little outline. And then I threw her for like a loop, just like a random question, and she was like could not recover, and I was like, all right, not going off script today. Like, this is not a good time.
I'm like, I probably will think of a response like next week.
When I'm showering next week.
Yeah, I'll just text it to you and we'll just
Can we add this? But today, we're actually going to talk about a topic that I got asked a ton about really recently, but just, just in general. Am I prepping? No, just can't speak. All right. A topic I've been asked about a lot recently, and it's how to pick the right coach. And we're not just doing this podcast because we have a coaching company. Obviously, if you want to work with Team LoCoFit, we would love to talk with you. But the goal of this is to really help kind of navigate the waters. And the questions were all surrounding how to pick the right coach for me in an industry where there are so many coaches. And there are tons of amazing coaching teams, and there's tons of bad coaching teams, right? And not necessarily even just bad, but it might not work for you. So that's what I really want to kind of dive into and give our perspective on how would somebody kind of figure out the right coach. So first and foremost, we can't really deny that today, in today's day and age, like everything is surrounded by content. And there's going to be obviously some people who put out way more content than others. And there's some people who are just going to put out, like, their content is literally going to be like, here's my client, here's my client, here's my client. Totally fine. Other people's content is going to be, hey, here's me educating you on these topics. Or, hey, here's my personal life. Here's how I learn things. And in my opinion, I think that the best content to put out is kind of a combination of all those things, right? Blending, hey, here's some client successes. Hey, here's some stuff that we're learning. Hey, here's how I apply these techniques with my clients. And that's kind of what I like to do. And I would say that you like to do the same thing.
Yeah, stuff that's useful for potential clients and current clients, showing what you're able to do with your clients, and then also just sharing bits of your life and sharing about yourself too, because people they want to know you're an actual human. So that I find is very helpful.
I know it might not seem like it, but we do have souls and we are people,
even though we have dark souls.
We're very dark souls on this team, and we're slightly dead inside, but we're still beaten.
But I'm still here.
This black heart is beaten, man. Okay,
for the time being.
Anytime like a scary movie comes out that's like one of those like weird like zombie apocalypse like things, I'm like, I'm just ending things. Like, just get me out of here. Like, who wants to be part? I don't know why I thought of that. I'm gonna rein it back in. All right. Not prepping, just
that's
crazy.
That's for another episode.
That's for a different episode. What would we do in the situation?
And then I can answer the question you asked in the previous episode there too.
We're just looping it back.
Some time.
But so content, right? So reel it back in. And there's nothing wrong with doing one type of style. So I'm thinking of a really great coach right now who does really awesome work with his clients. I haven't worked with him personally, but he literally just pretty much posts his clients, hey, here's what they're doing. So it's like, this is what I can do, right? Which is great.
Yeah.
And there's other people who talk mostly, like, they don't ever talk about their clients, and they talk about kind of their methods and what they're learning in their life, and they have great businesses too. So I think that whatever style works for you, if you are a coach, choose that. And then if you are a potential client, just see what kind of content that they are putting out and if that works for you. Like, if the message is very, very clear repeatedly, like what somebody is doing, if you look at not just one post, but hey, the last 10, 15 posts that you go through, like not just the picture, but the caption or, whatever, right? Like, let's just see like what is going on and if you like what that person has to say. So it's undeniable that we have to look at content, and not to say that that's the only thing, and not just posts either. So I wanted to make a point on that. Some people don't really have a huge, whether it's like they don't really like Instagram, right? They don't really put a lot of time into that, but they love podcasting, right? Like, great example, which he's clearly not a coach. Joe Rogan has arguably one of the best podcasts around ever, right? as far as downloads, as far as his interviewing ability, as far as like the amount, like all these things, right? And if you look at his Instagram, like his Instagram isn't like this booming thing, right? Like he just posts shit, you know, and talks about tour dates and like posts some like just life stuff and whatever. It's not like he has a bad Instagram by any means, but if you were to just show somebody Joe Rogan's Instagram, you wouldn't be like, wow, this guy has like the best podcast ever, right? You have to listen to that podcast. So there's some people who are going to really focus in on podcasts. Some people are really going to kill it on YouTube. Some people are going to like Instagram because it's like visual and written. You know, you kind of have to figure out what you like. Some people are just really good at writing. So they're writing tons of stuff. They have, you know, blog posts, articles, they have research reviews, like those types of people, like, what do you like?
There can't just be like one medium that you look at to determine if someone's, you know, a good match or something like that. You know, there's likely doing more than one thing, and there's likely more than one thing to actually, you know, look at when you're looking to hire a coach.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different styles now of content. So I know Instagram is a really, really big one for fitness, and we're obviously talking about finding a coach within the fitness space, but look at other mediums too, like what podcasts have they been on? Like, do they have their own, you know, do they have a YouTube channel? Do they write a lot? Like, you know, we try to put articles on the website, stuff like that. So the content is really key nowadays, but don't just look at one type, look at a variety. And then the next part, of course, is looking at the education and experience of that coach.
Those two go hand in hand pretty much, just because you can't say, I don't think you could say one is more important than the other.
No.
I think they go together really well though.
Yes.
You know, looking at their credentials, looking at, you know, what educational background they have, what work they put in on that end, to know that they are knowing what they're talking about.
Yes.
And, you know, that's
foundational
very much
knowledge.
Important. Very much important. English. But that in conjunction with experience, the experience just shows your clients that you can really empathize with what they're going through and really walk them through whatever process that you guys are working on.
Yes. And you know, we talked about with an episode that we don't know the number to, because if you listen to the last one, we don't know numbers to any of the podcasts.
Guys,
I don't even know what number this is.
My job is on the line.
To be completely honest, Jill is definitely
This one is
fired.
number 32.
Okay, wow. Pulling that one out of your ass. I don't know if that's real, guys. I don't know if that's real.
I'm just going to start numbering them random numbers.
This is 16, the next one's like 65. Okay, whatever. Whatever you want, it's fine.
I'm not going to say it.
All good. But we did one with Laurin on how to become a registered dietitian, right? So that's like a huge undertaking as far as like what somebody wants to do. But those are very specific credentials. And you know, we talked about that on there a little bit about education. And in my opinion, and something that I learned from Dr. Campbell, who we both did the master's program with him, was that education will always trump any kind of certification. So that's why I don't have any additional certifications, because I put my time in with 2 degrees and research, and that's what I deem more important. Doesn't mean that a certification isn't important. And if you don't have the means or don't want to go to school, a certification might be great, right? But so you have to kind of look at it like, hey, what is this person, you know, what have they done for schooling? What have they not done? And then also the experience part of it. Some of the best coaches I know have 0 degrees, but they've done a ton of self-education. And that's just going to depend on the person. Like basically school is a great tool. One, if you want to do research, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like you have to go to school to do research, which is why we both wanted to do that. And just like learn more. But school really teaches you like how to learn. But some people are good at that on their own. So, you know, like somebody like Ryan, for example, like does so much reading and researching and application. He flies all over the country to go to seminars. He flies all over the country to learn from some of the best people. He literally will go places just to shadow people for like a week, and you know, hands-on experience and stuff like that. So, you know, depending on kind of what somebody's doing, look at those credentials, and so it's not just necessarily going to be like what they signed their email with. It is, hey, like, you know, part of it is like, what is their content? Or if you happen to meet them in person, because you would never know that Ryan does all this stuff on his social media because he's the worst. He doesn't talk about it. He's done a lot of really cool things and has nothing to show for it in that sense. But when you meet him and you talk to him, you instantly know, like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then the other part of experience comes from not only just how long has somebody been coaching, but what have they gone through themselves?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you had a long history of, you know, you were overweight, and then you were underweight, and then you were coaching, and then you were competing. Like, that says a lot for any kind of client who's coming to reach out.
Yeah, I feel like that can apply to, I feel like the majority, most of, or all of my clients, what they're going through, just because that's the field that we're in. And I can really just share my own personal experiences, and I literally have been in your shoes before. So it really helps me as a coach, and also just explaining to them what to expect too. So if I've never been through a contest prep, I wouldn't prep someone else. You know, that's kind of a given to me.
Yes.
And I can't really imagine being able to prep someone if I don't know what they're experiencing.
Could you imagine,
or could not relate?
How to explain, like, I really couldn't. You can't
I don't
explain
know how that even would happen.
half of what happens. And I'm not saying that you have to be the best competitor, which is going to be one of our other points. But it's something that it's almost like a rite of passage as far as like helping somebody, particularly with, I would say, physique sports, because it is so mentally demanding in like the weirdest ways that you wouldn't really know how to empathize at all. Even if you've done one show, you can kind of be like, whoa.
It's like not enough to say, oh, that sucks. Like, no.
This
is an extreme sport. You're putting someone through something very demanding and very stressful, and you know, something that they have to sacrifice for. And if you don't really know what they're going through, it's really, I can't really imagine how that would really go for both people.
And just in general too, like with regular, like with all of our lifestyle clients, there's so many things that we work on that we don't just do coaching like, hey, here are your macros, like have at it. Like that's the smallest part of what we do, in my opinion, right? Obviously, you have numbers, right? And you have certain targets and things like that. But we're really trying to work on habits, and we're really trying to work on mindset with our clients. And everybody's situation can be a little bit different. And so I think that it's really useful to have, gone through a wide range of experiences. Like, hey, I've been overweight. Hey, I've been underweight. Hey, I've had this disordered eating. Hey, I've been in college. Hey, I've been really busy. This has been stressful in my life. I've had to overcome this. And using those experiences to actually coach people through it and actually work on those things. So, looking at education and experience together, which again is going to be hard. You can't just look at, hey, let me just look at the person's like last 3 Instagram posts and 1 YouTube video to know what they're about. No, you kind of have to, do a little bit more research on that end, and see what somebody's been consistently doing. And that's going to be really helpful. And of course, if you can meet somebody in person, so like, let's say like, you want to meet a coach, or you're interested in coaching with somebody, and then they're at a seminar, right? And you go and you hear them present and you hear how they interact with people. That's going to immediately be like a great thing, which is why we're always pushing people to go do in-person stuff. It makes such a difference, you guys, especially in today's day and age with like just social media. And then also like another thing to consider is like, do your personalities and styles mesh? Like, there are so many coaches that I think are amazing that I like probably wouldn't want to work with just because of just how they are. And that's fine. Like
you're not gonna be, everyone's favorite person.
Nope.
And just like it just how it goes with just working in person with people, not all personalities are gonna mesh very well. And I've had in-person experiences where maybe our personalities didn't really go together that well, so we're working together for a short time, probably won't come back to this, but it happens with coaching too.
And there's sometimes it just doesn't work out, but a really great way that you can kind of obviously learn somebody's personality, one is through the content and or events that they've been at, and then if when somebody reaches out to us, typically, obviously there's a whole questionnaire, and then, it's on like a video message, and then a lot of times we'll get on a phone call and all this kind of stuff. So, you're getting to see kind of how the coach interacts with you when you're the potential client, and just kind of see if that works out, and I feel like when you're talking a lot of times, whether it is a video message or whether it is a phone call or even hearing stuff, you can kind of see how somebody says things and if you like that or not. Because there's some people, again, that like, you can look at what they've written down or the pictures that they posted or whatever, and
it could be totally different.
So different when then you see like how that person is, and you're just like, ooh, like I don't know if I like really like this person or not like I don't like how they deliver information. But then opposite has happened too, where there's been people that like the way they put stuff out, I'm like, oh, this kind of person's like, well, whatever. And then you meet them and you're like, holy shit, this is the coolest person ever. Like I love what they're doing. I love their personality. So some people just, finding that blend of, communication styles is going to be really important. And there's no right or wrong here. So that's going to be completely up to you as the potential client to figure out what you like out of somebody's personality. And then this, I had to touch on this one. So this is kind of like the bane of coaching existence, right? And that's, looking at somebody's follower number or looking at somebody's physique, particularly in this kind of field again, right? And thinking that because they have a lot of followers and or they have a banging physique and or they're a top placing person, right? does not mean that they're a good coach. They could be an amazing coach.
Yeah.
But that might not be the case.
Yeah, that's so surface level. You have no idea what their style is like. You don't know what their education is. You don't even know if they even know what they're doing. So literally, it's a follower number. It's, pictures on Instagram, which for the, probably the majority of people on Instagram, it's photos from like 2 years ago or something that they're reposting. At least, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but that's just how Instagram works. It's a highlight reel. People like to show
I hate posting old photos. I feel so bad.
No, yeah, I feel
like that's like a weird, like a whole disclaimer. Like, like
this was not now.
Yeah,
just
it's the first line. Yeah. This is not current. Yeah. But even so there was just there's lots of competitors, or just people who look. So whether it's a competitor or like a fitness model or whatever, right? Who just look amazing, and you either see them, their pictures or in person or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, I want to look like that. Let me hire that person. And again, like I'm not saying that they might not be awesome. They could be, but they're just because of. I know there's like a cliche thing, but it's like the best coaches aren't the best athletes or whatever. Something like that. I might totally jack that up.
Lines.
Yeah. It's close enough. You guys got it, okay? I don't know if it was perfect, but we're on that track. So sometimes like the best athletes, and the thing is like because they're the best athlete, like they are most likely not going to be the best coach because they need to be the best athlete, right? So like if somebody is at the peak of their athletic career, right?
Another job.
That's a whole job, right? And like that is, take physique sports out of the equation. Take real sports, right? Like, okay, everybody don't get mad at me, but real sports where you're getting lots of money, you know what I mean? Those people aren't doing anything else. Like literally, that is their job, Eat,
breathe, live.
Yeah.
Sport.
Yeah, their competition and their life.
Sports.
And go sports.
Go team.
We're so sports savvy because I can't even think of an example.
Make the goal.
Score the points, something like that, right?
Is this touchdown?
It's like basketball. Good touchdown. Everybody's like, get out.
Get this person out of you.
Leave. You're kicked out forever. Clearly, we are not big sport people, but in general, I would say that is like again like a whole different kind of career life. And not to say that they couldn't be a great coach afterwards, but if somebody is in the peak of their career, they're most likely not going to be focused on being the best coach possible. Typically. So just look at that. And I think that people are like really have the past few years, we've seen like a huge shift as far as, people understanding that like social media following doesn't necessarily mean the best coaching, but it also doesn't mean that they're a bad coach either, right? Like you can't just say that, somebody has a big Instagram following, can't be my coach. No, that's a terrible like assumption.
Like, you can't just make absolute claims there. But it's just something to consider when you are scrolling through Instagram, just because you like this, Sally Squats, and she has a nice butt.
Wow. Solid name,
right?
Do you want to get that hashtag? Do you want to get that at? I don't even know what it's called. The handle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what? Let me pause this.
We're pausing the podcast. Sally Squats is
new business venture right now.
That's like your troll account. You just troll people with that.
What's it called? Like people have like fake Instagram or
yeah, people have fake accounts just to troll people.
That's me.
Dude, I posted about this on my story. There was somebody who said that basically when we made that 400-gram carb podcast, they had a coach who said something along the lines of like, because they were eating like 400 carbs or whatever. They're like 16 weeks out and they weren't losing weight. And they're like, oh, you're making me look terrible, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to blackmail you, this and that. And they like made up fake accounts and were like, it's just doing crazy stuff. And I'm like,
that's a lot of energy to
hold on. Excuse me? Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
Back on track. We're reining it back in.
We'll be crazy.
Okay. Last thing is just recommendations in general.
Yeah.
So word of mouth is great. So that's like a huge thing. Yeah. So let's say for example, you have a friend who's been working with a coach and they have really great things to say about him or her. Well, then that might be a good person to look into, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like a good, obviously presuming that you like trust this friend and that kind of stuff, right? Which could be a whole different, hey, hopefully you trust your friends, but you know what I mean? Like you trust their judgment as far as coaching goes.
I don't have any friends. Okay,
like, you're like, I got my dog, it's fine.
Yeah, just me and my dog.
But, crazy Anakin. But anyway, it's kind of suiting for the name. I mean, he's a little unstable.
Oh yeah.
As a character as well as your dog. So
a little demon dog.
kind of both. Yeah.
He's cute.
Maybe one day when he gets old enough, he could he's Darth now because he once he gets he can be Vader.
He'll level up at some point.
Once he's
a year and a half.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I feel like it's gonna take a lot longer than that. But we'll see.
Talking shit.
I feel like dogs I feel like 2 is still like puppy, even though they're grown.
Everyone keeps telling me just wait until he's a year and a half.
Okay.
So I'm holding out. We'll see.
You're like, I have a calendar. It's scrolling. It's counting down the days.
I have a countdown app on it.
But yeah, so recommendations from friends or people that you trust in general. Like if they're talking about something that they really, really like. We've had obviously tons of client recommendations.
Yeah. We have a few clients actually who are friends with each other now because, one of my clients recommended her friend and then these 2 people live near each other, so they're friends and it's all a big happy team.
Exactly.
But yeah, word of mouth is really powerful. And I was just telling Lauren about this when I used to work under a clinical exercise physiologist. I'm from a small borough in New York, and basically that business boomed through word of mouth. He was very hesitant to kind of get on Instagram and do the whole social media thing, and he was like, why do I need to, word of mouth, like everyone here knows each other, but it's good business, and you don't really realize when you're in it how powerful just a recommendation can be.
Yeah, particularly for an in-person business. I mean, that's just obviously for this we were trying to focus on because the questions that I was getting asked was an online coach and navigating that fitness industry, but in-person stuff is completely different. Like if you don't even want to touch social media, you don't have to, because in reality that's not going to be what drives your business. It might be because people are like, oh hey, I'm traveling, or oh hey, I live in this area, I can make the trip, or whatever. But I know tons of people who have booming in-person businesses who have never even touched social media. So that's again very different.
Different context, but
different marketing and just a different field. But yeah, so if you guys are looking for kind of a coach in this space, which is very saturated, these would be our best tips. And I don't think there's one right or wrong way to pick a coach. And I think that I'm hoping that this was really helpful for people, because I've gotten so many questions about this recently.
No, yeah, this is probably this is a huge question. I feel like I've gotten it every month,
and I kind of feel like it's hard to answer, particularly over Instagram, because you can't just be you don't want to make it sound like you're selling only you're coaching. But obviously at some point we kind of have to be hey, we do a really good job, we're open about that, hey, here's what we do.
There's a few good points to just keep in mind if you or someone is looking for a coach. Also we did a little series on YouTube, shameless plug, but we did a whole coaching series, so
that was a little while ago, but because I don't upload a lot, you can probably find it pretty easily. I actually recorded 3 videos the other day, and I filmed it in in not the right format. That was a really good waste of time. In any case, I'm going to try to get back on the YouTube train. But for now, I've been cranking out the podcast. So if you guys have been enjoying these, 10-star reviews only. And we would really, really appreciate if you could leave a review, because that does help boost up not only our views, but then more people get to see it. That's how it works apparently. So more reviews, more eyes on the podcast, which would be amazing. So if you liked it, I'm doing a finger guns.
Also subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
You can leave a comment too. So
you can see our beautiful faces in this beautiful office.
So come say hi.
Jillian's jacket is on properly.
I'm dressed appropriately.
Somehow we managed it.
We made it.
And then if you want to go to our website to check out different articles, products that we have, books, or apply for coaching, that's teamlocofit.com. And if you have any other questions, you can let us know either through there or our Instagram. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.